Hey, I'm Fenda.
Hey, I'm Peter.
We are both at Aliz.
And today we are going to pull some questions from the wall about AI business and what happened behind the closed doors. Let's go.
Let's go.
If you had to bet the company on one vertical or one use case, which would be that one and why?
The easy question would be to say that we are a Google only partner, and Google has a deep expertise in retail, actually, and this goes hand in hand also with our expertise in retail. What we are seeing that actually the biggest transformational projects, at least now, are coming from retail, because actually that's the most competitive market nowadays. Retail is a very marketing heavy and obviously customer experience heavy industry with a lot of personalization needed actually to be able to convert a lead with the loyalty part and things like that. AI is a very commonly adopted actually nowadays with all the retailers. So I would bet on retail, and we did that back actually more than 1 year ago when we hired a retail industry expert within our team. And I would say that when it comes to Google, they're also heavily invested on retail and actually on startups, because actually on the digital natives are the ones who are winning and who are able to transform different industries after the dot-com bubble, actually after the financial crisis when fintech companies actually appeared. And I would say that also with the industrial revolution, most probably at the end of the day, the winners will be the companies and the brands that we might not even know now, but in a few years they will be the leaders.
Okay. So what about one more question? How about tech companies? Tech and software companies.
Software company, I think I don't want to go into that debate, but there are a lot of debates nowadays around that if software companies with AI actually they have a future or not. So like look at CRM company, for example, that if you have a little bit of affinity for AI tools, actually you can even build your own CRM company. But it's not going like that. We all know.
We all know that like going into production it's harder.
Experience, it's only that UI actually is the top of the iceberg. So I think that the software companies, the ones who are able to transform and build in AI in their daily life and their daily activities, are the ones who will survive. Look at Google. At this moment within Google, 70% of the code is already written by AI.
And written by human.
Written by AI and supervised by human and accepted by human, obviously. So it's still a human in the loop. I think those companies who are able to do that and deliver faster, cheaper, but quality-wise, keeping the safe or even better quality, are going to win in the future. When an engineer on your team disagrees with the commitment you have made to the client, how does that get resolved?
It rarely happened, but like it happened a couple of times in my career in Aliz. And I think it's a fair point. By end of the day, they're responsible to deliver something. So in my opinion, and like what I did in the past is like to sit down and to understand the concerns, because like it can happen that like the concern is like a technological challenge which can be sorted out, but like at that certain point we don't have any confirmation about it. Giving you an example, we had with some customers that like the customers wanted something. Google had a product which had a really strong product roadmap. It was just in preview. And basically we wanted to implement the solution. It was like about dataplex. And like basically a couple of features was like missing. But of course, Google promised that like, look, this is the list. This is going to happen in the upcoming months. So basically you are safe because like this is on the roadmap. And our engineer was like saying that like, yes, I understand this, but like what if this is not going to happen? Who is going to be responsible for this? So I think communication is the most important. And then we went back to the customer and we emphasized that, look, you know that like this is just preview. So it's like the general availability is going to come later, and like the roadmap, it's looking nice, but like we can't do anything. And even the customer said that like, yes, we take this risk, we love this product, so we go further. So I think the key to this is communication. If the foundation model labs keeps commoditizing capability, what does a firm like Aliz sell in 3 years that it doesn't sell today?
what is not going to get commoditized and ignored is still the human touch. So how close and how well will we be able to understand the customer challenges, because at the end of the day, even if you are a consultancy company, it is not about the technology. The technology is already doing way more than what 90% of the companies are exploring. It's about how well you are able to connect the technology with the customer needs at the end of the day, with the customer strategy, with the customer vision, and how well you can be that bridge between, because like Google is a product factory. Actually, the customer is looking to get some stuffs from that product factory, but how well they are able to adapt the pieces from that factory and the different products, it's depending a lot on the partners and how well we are able to create that bridge. And that bridge might change in the future, but I don't think that it's going to collapse, to be honest.
I agree on that one. What I would add here, I think the industry expertise. So I think over there is still something. And like in my head, but maybe I'm wrong, I see that like the future will look like that you're like having really strong engineers on every level. I know you're like having junior, media, senior, and architects. I don't believe that like the junior, media, and senior architects are going to disappear, even though many people are like talking about this. I don't think. I think the difference between them will be that like an architect level engineer will work with multiple projects, multiple agents. So I don't know, 10, 15, 25 agents who is going to serve, and it's going to help to build industry specific use cases. And like maybe it's going to work together with other engineers as well, and it's going to define the plan, it's going to orchestrate that how it should look like. And like all of the other engineers are going to work with agents in order to execute that one. And like the architect level is basically going to be as a quality assurance that like what those agents and what those engineers were like producing, it's fitting into the strategy, and like from quality perspective are fitting to that minimal requirements. So I think this is how I envision it. And like you will not price the engineer, you will price also the agents behind the engineers. So basically having an agent which was like doing, I don't know, giving an example, multiple migrations, you will pay for that one, for that knowledge, what that specific agent was like able to gain in the past 15 years. That's, I think, what's going to change, and we're going to sell at a certain point. So basically we're going to sell agents. So basically we're going to sell knowledge and context.
The very last one, can you give me an example of a project you talked a client out of?
I think yes, we had, but like I already mentioned before one that like basically we removed them from the licensing approach and we went into Vertex direction instead. But yes, we had multiple projects where we had to, and I think this is our job as well, because like we are a professional services company and we are consultants in this field. So and sometimes we need to tell to the customer that look, this is not going to give you that competitive advantage, or like this project is not going to be successful because like we did it and we failed it, and not because like the project itself is not good, it's because like there's plenty of data which is like missing. So yes, my answer, yes, we are like constantly doing this, and I'm trying to challenge the whole business development organization and also the engineers to challenge the customers and not to deliver a project just for the sake of delivery, that like we are there to consult them as well. So if we had a failure with another customer where we know that like we are going to fail for certain reasons, it's our job and responsibility to tell to the customer and to raise this during the discussions.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Fendar.